I really needed a happy project, something that will boost my dopamine level every time I'm working on it, especially because I felt kind of an inspirational rut lately and I really wanted the way out. And I found it. Look at this yarn. This gorgeous pink color. It's drops alpaca silk in color 41 and drops saffron in color 02. I saw them online and thought, yeah, that's what I want to work on, especially because I was actually looking for a project for my gorgeous buttons. I bought this vintage shell buttons a few weeks ago, and I really, really wanted to do a project with them to showcase them and enjoy wearing them as often as I can. I really wanted to combine them with something which will bring me a lot of joy. So I had buttons, I had yarn, and I had a project in mind. That was the Clematis Sweater, and welcome to the Clematis Sweater project vlog. My target is to make it engaging and also useful if you have the same problems and questions as I will meet in the future, or maybe if you have similar to me body shape and you want to see how it fits the not standardized body. My name is Chloe. This is the channel about all the things knitting. If you enjoy my content, hit that like button and subscribe. It will really help to grow my channel and also encourage me to do more content. Let's start. I already have a little bit to talk about. I couldn't wait till the morning in proper light so I can film. I started the back panel yesterday and actually finished it. That's a rather fast knit. That's only 3 hours of work. By the way, I'm tagging the time for this project and I know exactly how long I'm knitting on it. Hopefully it wouldn't be messed up. It's not the first project I'm attempting to time. Before, I was either forgetting to switch the timer on or switch it off, or I was frogging the whole project and starting over. Hopefully this time it's gonna work. So 3 hours, and I do have a little problem with it already. The pattern is asking for 4.5mm needles and 18 stitches gauge for 10 centimeters. 18 stitches, 26 rows. I wasn't even hoping to meet the row gauge, I never do, but I really needed to hit the stitch gauge. I'm making size L for the bust circumference of 105. My bust circumference is 102, and I didn't want it to be baggier than on the model, on the pictures. So even a little bit wider gauge would be a problem. Although I'm knitting much tighter than the author of the pattern, so I made it on 5.5mm needles. And on the paper, gauge is perfect. Like on a gauge swatch, it's perfect. If I'm laying it flat and like pulling on it a little bit like this, it's perfect. Although if I'm moving it a little bit or pulling on it like this, the gauge is off. And the piece, which should be 52 centimeters, might go up to 56 centimeters, which is a big problem for me. I have two options right now in my mind. Either don't be worried about that and just continue knitting and see what the result will be somewhere like in the middle of the project, or I can try and do the same piece in 5mm needles and see what the result will be. Maybe while I'm knitting a little bit looser, or maybe I'm just measuring the gauge swatch wrong. That's a possibility too, because that's a possibility too. Also, because the pattern has a diagonal button band, I'm kind of hoping to meet a row gauge as close as I can, because I want the diagonal to be very defined. I don't want the line to finish, like if it starts on the shoulder, I don't want it to finish in my middle. I want it to finish somewhere here. For this, I might need to recount the increases and decreases and how fast they're going. We will cross that bridge when we come to it. I'm leaning towards making this piece again on 5mm needles. Yes, I will spend another like 2 hours to try it on. I don't need to finish it fully. I just need to knit maybe half of it and see the result. And then make the decision, because I do have the tendency of not really shaping my clothes perfectly. I guess I will meet you somewhere in the middle of the back panel of 5mm needles. The results are quite curious. I did a little bit of the back panel on 5mm needles, and I will show you. I pinned down everything the back of my sofa because that's the only flat, soft surface in the house. Okay, we are standing on a sofa, and that's the panel of 5mm needles, and that's a panel of 5.5mm needles. I would say that this panel looks a little bit less neat, maybe because I'm not knitting that nicely, like that the tension is breaking down in a few places. And you can see that that's exactly 52 centimeters here and there. And you can see that here it's quite loosely, so the fabric wants to be more than 52. And in a row gauge, that's 24 stitches for 10 centimeters. I need 26. And this one is 13 stitches for 5 centimeters here. Here, when I pinned it down, it's still 14 for 5 centimeters, so exactly the same, which doesn't sound right. And I would say the tension is a bit nicer here, so I will go with 5mm needles at the end. Frogging is a part of the process in knitting. I'm still trying to make my peace with this information and with this fact. Okay, I'm ready to frog. Although I don't think I really need to do it. Right now I just can finish knitting in the back panel, break yarn, and then frog the previous one. I finished yesterday on the back panel. It took me a little bit more than 3 hours, so it definitely slow on 5mm needles. But still, it's a very fast and enjoyable knit. I'm having so much fun working with this color and with this yarn. Not sure how neat the final project would look because the fabric looks a little bit uneven colored. Like I would even say uneven fluffed. Hopefully it's gonna be fixed in a blocking. And I started the front panel yesterday. It's so fun to not just work the plain stock net, but to do like increase every fourth row. I guess on the other side, it's going to be decrease every fourth row. And I will always need to be a little bit on my toes to not miss any increases and decreases. Don't have much to tell you yet. That's all I have so far. I need a little bit more length on the right front panel, and then I will start doing the length of the left one. And maybe I can try and put it on. It's gonna be something like that. A little drop shoulder. Here's gonna be the neckline. So happy with it. I'm 1.5 balls in, and that's what I'm having right now. It's so fun, like social knitting. I'm knitting sitting with my sister in the park, having coffee and a talk. And that's my Clematis sweater. The work is going very smooth, I would say quite fast. And I already have a diagonal. I'm loving it. Absolutely.
Good boy.
I finished the second balls of yarn, a little bit more now, and that's how much I'm having. The diagonal, you can really see the diagonal now. I'm loving it. And I was right, it's quite engaging because every fourth row I'm doing the increase and decrease, and it's making it more fun, but also not too high maintenance. I can still knit while I'm watching the TV with John, or like on Metro, or when I'm on the go in the park, for example, with a crazy dog running around. That's really a fun process. I'm not really sure I'm in the gauge. I want to measure it, but the width looks all right. I can't wait to try it on. We'll do it at home because I don't have the iCord now. I'm keeping the fish as a microphone handler. Actually, I think it looks good together. The fit is definitely flowy, more flowy than I anticipated. The bag is even more oversized, which is quite logical because of my bust. And even though I really like the fit, I don't think it needed to be tight. I chose this pattern for the little bit of positive ease. It's definitely not too much, although I do have a tendency of saying that and then realizing that, yes, it's too much. So we'll see in the end. We starting this day with a little crisis. My cable broke. I just have a separate needle suddenly. Hopefully can pick a new one in a yarn shop today. And I think that maybe it's time for the hem rib. I will tell you, I did a little modification on the pattern yesterday. Okay, let me just put the stitches on hold. I added a little bit of short rows on the bottom of my sweater because the difference between back and front was drastic. I didn't measure how much exactly it was, but I added 12 rows and now it looks pretty even. I will buy a new cable and start the rib. I just took my phone out of the fridge because it's overheating and I'm recording 2 videos in a row. I'm overheating too, so let's make it quick. This is what I'm having. I finished the neckline. It looks a little bit sloppy. Rib on cotton and on not really matching needles is not the best thing in the world, but the fluff helps to the look. And I finished the hem, but here it looks very bad. Because I went half a needle size up, I decided to do the same to the rib, and it was definitely a mistake because it looks too sloppy. On 3.5 mm needles, it looks much nicer. So I'm gonna redo the bottom hem, but I will do it in the very end of my knit because I'm not really sure on the length of my sweater. Maybe I will even redo it after the blocking. We'll see. I picked up stitches for the sleeve and started doing it. I'm just on the first few short rows right now. I definitely enjoy this low pressure project. I glanced at my times yesterday. Sometimes I'm knitting only for 30 minutes a day. We're gonna do a trying on the bed. It's extremely hot, so putting on the woolen bits is probably not gonna be very pretty. I think I will wear it buttoned on the bottom to not have a sloppy triangle just hang, buttoned on top, and showcasing my best features. After YouTube decided that it's good to show me to people who love some sexy content, I'm a little bit shy to embrace my sensual side and talk about the sexy fits of my knits. Sexy fits of my knits. Because I don't want to repeat the cycle. But YouTube can make me hide who I am. And I will definitely wear it something like that. Let me show you something like that. So we're kind of showing a little bit of skin, but not really much. And it looks so interesting. It gives the unusual shape. The color is amazing. I don't think it suits me, don't get me wrong, but I love it still. That's like a color for the makeup. I do have the range of colors I can pull off if I wear makeup. Otherwise, they just wash me out. Hi, I really don't remember when was the last update on my Clematis sweater. Clematis? Clemantis? I heard so many options and don't know which one is right. And life just happened. I was distracted. I made a pair of socks. Not a pair, I made one sock. It was a challenge. I failed it. And it's in my second project vlog. And that's what I'm having. I don't think I'm very far away from the last update because I wasn't really knitting on it for a while. I have a sleeve. I almost have a sleeve. I think I'm ready to start the ribbing. Maybe one more row on the smaller needles and I'm ready. And the problem is I hate the fit. I tried it on yesterday evening and got very upset. It really doesn't look good. I mean, it might change, of course, after blocking and when I will add the button band and everything. But right now, The fabric is too drapey. I saw multiple videos and Instagram posts with this item. And when the fabric is a little bit more dense and holds its shape, it looks so much nicer for me. So I'm starting to get upset. Also, I do not like the combination of the fluffy yarn and cotton. Here, it doesn't melt together and just looks old, like not tidy. Maybe I'm just too hard on myself and on my knits. That's a possibility. So I will finish it. I definitely want to do something with the collar because it's too wide. Maybe I will unravel it and I can show you, I guess. You see, it's a little bit wide. I'm thinking to catch less stitches along the neckline and make more ribbing rows for it to cinch it a little bit to the middle. Of course, it would be better if I would just cast on with more stitches along the shoulder or choose a different size, but I didn't know that at that time. So I will try to do my best, and maybe I will try to brush it a little bit, like with a mohair brush. So alpaca distributes better and doesn't look so gappy. Not a very positive update. Okay, I see you when the sleeve is finished, and maybe the button band is finished because that's what I want to do next. Honestly, I couldn't be bothered undoing the tubular bind off properly. So first I tried to save as much yarn as possible and cut only in the middle of the rows the actual bind off, but that was a bad idea. And I ended up cutting the whole last row. If you have any tips of how to do it better, easier, and faster, please tell me in the comments. I would be very thankful. I'm on the front camera, so the quality might be a little bit worse. And I redid the collar, picked up 90 stitches in the end instead of 100 by the pattern, and I hope it cinched it a little bit. Let's make a try on because I thought I will start on the bottom band, but I can't until I fix the bottom hem. I not only need to change the needle size, but I will also want to estimate how many rows of ribbing am I making to match the top. Okay, what do you think? Okay, I'm surely trying it on with the wrong top, but yeah, that's much better. That's much, much better. Should I make a few more? No, I think it's perfect. Okay, I do like it more now. I didn't bind off the sleeve to make sure that everything is matching. Now I can finish the sleeve. It's a little bit big here. Do I care? No, I don't. And I can fix the hem now. I ordered new buttons. I realized that my nice vintage ones are not really matching with the color of this yarn. And also they will really look good on something very chic and red. Don't know what it's gonna be yet, but such a gorgeous buttons can really wait for the right project for them. So I ordered two options. They're gonna come in a few days and hopefully the sweater will be done by then. Yona. I am still upset with it. It went a little bit better after I fixed the collar. I made it tighter, but it still looks just sloppy. Maybe blocking will fix something a little bit, but it's cotton. I don't think it will. So I guess it's either gonna be my unsuccessful project or the project I just put on when I don't really care how I look. Need to put it aside for a while because I'm upset with it. It's been a while, but I started working on my Clematis Sweater again, and I'm halfway through the last and second sleeve. It's working relatively fast, so this bit is 3 hours, 40 minutes. I'm timing this project, as we remember. I almost forgot at some point, honestly. And there is a teeny tiny possibility that I will need to redo the button band and the other side, because right now, it's either gonna be blocked out or I picked up not enough stitches. I did 95 for each side. I supposed to do 130, but I cropped it 10 centimeters. So I just did less stitches. Is the math mathing? Not sure. So the possibility is definitely there. That's it for today's update. I hope that I will finish the sleeve in next today, and very soon we're gonna see the final result. Also buttons came, let me show you. This is the first option for the buttons, very neutral, light beige ones. And this is the second option. They both are just plastic, but I think they're looking nice. I'm done. I powered through the rest of the sleeve yesterday, binded everything off. I even weaved in the ends. Decided to do everything in one sitting yesterday, and I couldn't be happier. I'm so happy this project is almost finished. Only blocking and buttons are left. On the camera, it doesn't look that bad. I really hope that after blocking, it will look nicer in real life too. I'm planning to pull the ribbons a little bit on the hem, on the button bands. Let me block it, and then we're gonna talk more about the pattern, about my experience, and what I would do different if I would repeat this pattern.
Passport is ready, no lines at the gate. I don't do waiting, I don't hesitate. Champagne is popping, we're up in the clouds, far from the noise and the busy crowds. The city below is a glittering map. I'm taking a nap in a luxury lap. Don't ask me where, cause I'm already gone. Chasing the sunset and racing the dawn. Turns out gravity can hold me down. Queen of the sky, wearing my crown.
It took 2 full days for my sweater to dry, but now it's blocked. I sewed some buttons on and ready to talk about the process and finished result, what I think about it. I actually think that it turned out very nice. I like a little bit handmade look. It doesn't bother me. The fit is boxy as supposed to be. I don't think it's very flattering for my body, but that was the risk I took. I knew that it might not look perfect on me. It's still a nice, cozy, warm sweater, even though it's done with cotton and brushed alpaca silk. And in the end, I actually think that the choice of yarn wasn't bad. The only moment I would change is to pick yarns in real life to make sure the colors match. If you've seen the Instagram of Knitting for Olive, when they're making their amazing swatches, they take one shade of merino, another shade of mohair, combine them, and it looks gorgeous. Here is not the same thing because cotton doesn't have any fluff, so the yarn, the fabric doesn't look unified. It looks a little bit, I mean, you can see it yourself. So for my taste, matching the color of cotton and alpaca or mohair is very important in this particular combination of yarns. Few words about the pattern. It's written nicely. The whole process of looking at it felt like I'm talking to the lovely friend. I don't know how to explain it, but how it's written and how it's designed, it's very cozy and welcoming. Also, it's very easy to understand. I had not a single moment when I felt like, what should I do here? Or what does she mean? Which is great. So I think it's quite a good pattern for the beginners, not complete beginners when you just learn how to knit, because it has some short rules, picking up stitches, and it might be confusing. But when you already did few items and ready for the next step. It was extremely nice for me to knit. It flew off my needles. The only moments when I was not that happy to work on it, when I wasn't sure about the fit and the yarn. So that's me problem, not the pattern problem. What would I change knitting on it next time? I would add short rows higher. As you remember, I did them on the very bottom of my sweater just before the ribbing started. And this a little bit messed up with the fit. The bottom is wider than I would love it to be. So I should have done them. It's not the stone thrown by me in this particular pattern of this designer. It's for all patterns I've ever opened so far. But it would be so nice somewhere along the body to write, if you have a bigger bust and you want your item to be the same length in the front and the back, add short rows here. Here's the link of how to count them and how to do them. Why not? And the same in different parts of the pattern where modifications might be needed. For example, the Miu top has it. I don't think the modification she offers is perfect because it kind of makes it baggy on the back. It's going to be the talk into Miu top project log. But she does say that if you have a fuller bust, you can do more rows, which is great. So this would be very nice. Second thing I would change is I would change the pace of increases and decreases for the front part. Because I cropped it 10 centimeters, and you've seen on me, it's still not cropped. So I know some people love it even shorter. The diagonal doesn't go as far as I would love it. And in the beginning of the video, I was afraid of it. Actually, in the end, I don't mind it. I think it still looks very original and interesting, but it would be fun if it would be more drastic. So my advice for myself in the future, and for you if you want to cast on this pattern, to measure yourself before you start knitting on it and decide what length do you want. And if you want a shorter length, just adjust the increases, decreases a little bit. Do them not every fourth stitch or every third stitch, for example. That's not a very hard math, and I would do that if I will repeat this pattern. So that's actually it for what I would have changed. And because it's not that many points, I think that's really a successful project and I'm happy with it. And the yarn feels lovely on my skin. I can wear it with bare sleeve, and I have a very sensitive skin, very. I actually soaked it when I was blocking it, not only in a washing liquid, but also in my hair conditioner. I always do that for the knits, so the yarn will be a little bit softer. It's kind of the same hair. It's not too warm, what I wanted. Now it's summer, I know it's gloomy, but still warm in the house, and I'm not sweating in it. I'm not dying and hoping to take it off as soon as I can. And I think I just made myself a perfect sweater for walking with my dog and my husband in the evenings, or chill dates in the beginning of autumn, or it's a perfect item for spring when you want colors and a little bit of happiness in your life. So I think that the project turned out great. I'm happy with the result, and I guess you want to know how long did it take me. I just now did all the math because I'm tracking my knits into Taskmaster app, which shows me only my progress each day. It doesn't sum it up, or I didn't find this tool yet. If you know a nicer app to track the knitting time, just write in the comments, please. I'm really in a search for a good, nice one. The total time is 44 hours. I'm actually very surprised that it took me so long. It felt like such a easy, just flowing off the needles process. And I worked on 5mm needles. What I would say that I didn't rush at all. I wasn't trying to move my fingers faster, and I wasn't racing against the clock how I do with some other of my projects. For example, right now I'm trying to fit Miu top in 24 hours, and I already made a huge mistake, which will make me frog 8 hours of my work. So yeah, there I'm really rushing. Here I was very calm, I was very relaxed, and I really had a great time. So I think it's time to sum up this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy this time spent together. Please hit the like button on this video and subscribe to my channel if you didn't yet. And see you in the next one. Bye.